She knew her time was near. Days turned into weeks, and the neighbors noticed a foul smell emanating from Lila's flat. Concerned, one of them, Mrs. Thompson, knocked on her door, calling out her name. When there was no response, she alerted other neighbors, and together they forced the door open. In a modest village surrounded by lush fields and ancient trees, there lived a family that once brimmed with love and laughter. Among them was a girl named Lila, whose bright spirit was a beacon of hope and joy. However, as Lila grew older, she made choices that led her astray, causing pain and disappointment to her parents. Lila's mistakes were not extraordinary common missteps of the youth, driven by a desire to explore the world beyond confines of her small village. Yet her parents, stern and unyielding in their values, saw her actions as grave transgressions. They were hurt, and in their pain, they shut her out, refusing to forgive her despite her tearful pleas. Years passed, and Lila's heart grew heavy with regret. She tried countless times to mend the rifts, writing letters, making calls, and even visiting home, only to be met with cold silence. Her parents' refusal to forgive her gnawed at her soul, and the weight of their rejection became too much to bear. One bleak morning, Lila packaged her belongings and left the village, hoping to find solace in the blustering anonymity of the city. She vowed to rebuild her life, to prove to herself worthy of forgiveness. But the city was unkind, and the loneliness that followed her was a shadow she could not escape. Lila found a small, rundown flat in a quiet neighborhood. It was far from the life she had imagined, but it was a place to start anew. She took on multiple jobs, working tirelessly to survive. Despite her best efforts, the isolation and the memories of her family's rejection haunted her. Months turned into years, and Lila's once vibrant spirit began to fade. She fell ill, a sickness born of neglect and sorrow, but she told no one. Her neighbors knew her as a quiet girl who kept to herself, unaware of the storm raging within her. One cold winter's night, as snowflakes drifted gently to the ground, Lila felt the weight of her illness take a final toll. Alone in her dimly lit flat, she knew her time was near. With trembling hands, she wrote a letter to her parents, pouring out the words she had longed to say. Days turned into weeks, and the neighbors noticed a foul smell emanating from Lila's flat. Concerned, one of them, Mrs. Thompson, knocked on her door, calling out her name. When there was no response, she alerted other neighbors, and together they forced the door open. The sight that greeted them was one of the profound sorrow. Lila lay lifeless on her bed, her body cold and decayed. The room was silent except for the rustling of the letter crushed in her hand. With heavy hearts, they read the letter and found the address of her parents' village. The neighbors reached out to Lila's parents, who initially dismissed the news as a cruel joke. But as the reality sank in, they made the journey to the city. When they arrived at Lila's flat, the sight of their once vibrant daughter reduced to a lifeless form broke their hearts. They read the letter Lila left behind her. Her final words was a poignant reminder of the love she still had for them, despite the pain they caused her. Dear Mom and Dad, I don't know if you will ever read this letter, but this is the only way I can find peace. I want you to know that I am sorry for everything I did that hurt you. I have spent every day regretting my mistakes and wishing I could turn back time. When I left the village, it wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I couldn't bear the weight of your disappointment. I thought if I could prove myself, maybe you would find it in your heart to forgive me. But life here hasn't been kind, and I have struggled more than I ever imagined. I have been sick for a while now, and I am afraid I don't have much time left. I wish I could see you one last time to tell you in person how much I love you and how sorry I am. But I understand it if you never want to see me again. Please remember me not as the girl who made mistakes, but as your daughter who loved you more than words can say. I hope one day you can forgive me and find peace in your hearts. With all my love, Lila. As they read her words, tears streamed down their faces. The realization that their pride and unforgiving nature had cost them their daughter was a burden too heavy to bear. They mourned for the lost years, the missed opportunities to heal and reconnect. The villagers gathered to support them, sharing in their grief and helping them arrange a funeral for Lila. It was a somber affair, filled with great regret and sorrow. As Lila was laid to rest, her parents whispered their apologies into the cold winter air, hoping someday she could hear them. The days that followed were a blur of sorrow and reflection. Lila's parents were consumed by guilt, replaying every harsh word and unforgiving gesture. They wished desperately for the chance to hold her, to tell her they loved her, to make amends. In the village, Lila's story became a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of forgiveness. Her parents now advocate for compassion and understanding, shared their painful lessons with others, hoping to prevent another family from enduring the same heartache. Time passed, but the wound of losing Lila never truly healed. Her parents honored her memory by supporting young people in the village, offering guidance and forgiveness where they had once withheld it. Through their actions, they sought redemption, hoping to make Lila proud. Every year of the anniversary of her death, the village gathers to remember Lila. They would light candles and share stories, ensuring her spirit lived on in the heart of those who knew her. Her parents, though forever marked by their loss, found solace in the community's embrace. In the end, Lila's legacy was one of love and forgiveness. Her life and tragic death taught her parents and the entire village that holding on to anger and resentment only leads to more pain. Through their grief, they learned that it is never too late to forgive, and that love, even when tested, is the most powerful force of all. And so, the tale of Lila became a timeless story passed down through generations, a reminder of the importance of compassion, understanding, and the enduring power of love. Please subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos.